Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a new video. So I'm on my way right now to actually go get the oil changed in the Telluride. So this is actually the first oil change since we've gotten it. I'm just going to the dealer to get it done just out of pure convenience. But today we're actually going to be installing the AWE touring exhaust. We're going to be removing the Cobb titanium and putting on the AWE. So this video is purely going to be me installing it, doing the initial sound clips, starting it up for the first time and all that. Nothing too exciting. There'll be a separate video of actual, revving and doing real sound clips and flybys and all that. For this video, it's simply going to be like what I did with the Cobb when I first installed it, just the initial startup and a couple sound clips and all that. So let's go ahead, let's get the oil changed, and then we'll head back home, get in the garage, and start installing the AWE. All right, so we are all finished with the oil change on the Telluride. It came out to 98 bucks for an oil change. I mean, I know they use full synthetic and everything, and they're very long intervals at 7,500 miles, but still, wow, I was kind of surprised by how much that was just for like a pretty basic SUV. While I was there, I was walking around the showroom just, passing time, and there was a Stinger GT2 there. It was in black. I'll throw some pictures up on the screen for you guys. I was impressed. I got to sit in it, I got to really look around it and everything, and it was really nice. I was kind of shocked. Again, I never thought I would like a Kia so much, but it was very, very nice. The sales associate there actually asked me if I wanted to take one for a test drive, but I respectfully declined, mainly because, I don't want to bother them, and also I'm not very good when it comes to test drives, mainly because I kind of get sucked into whatever it is I'm driving and I want one, so I didn't do that. Again, it was very nice. Interior felt super quality. I was really impressed with it. The only issue, well, I guess the main issue, is the MSRP on that was 58 grand plus the dealer markup. They were asking 61 something. I'll put it up on the screen as well. But wow, I mean, it's a good looking car. I think they have like 368 or 370 horsepower. I'm sure it's a lot of fun and it drives very nice, but I don't think that's worth 61 grand. That is a lot of money. That is easy M3 money. I'd much rather have an F80 M3 over that. But either way, a very, very nice car. Very impressed with it. It would make an awesome daily driver. But enough Kias. Let's go home and work on the STI. All right, so we are back in the garage. This is actually the next day. I just didn't get time to do it last night, so we're gonna follow up and get this exhaust installed tonight. We got the AWE sitting over here. I'm gonna get the car jacked up, get the Cobb off, and swap on the AWE. This is gonna be a quick install. I'm not gonna really show too much because I just wanna get it done and get some sound clips for you guys. I'm doing a comparison video that's gonna be out next, comparing the Cobb and the AWE Touring. So you can hear back to back. That's gonna be a little bit more in depth in terms of sound clips and revving and all that. This one's just going to be probably most likely just an initial startup and just maybe a couple revs or a flyby or something. I don't know. We'll see when I get there. So right now it's 9 o'clock at night. So hopefully we can get this done in about half hour, 45 minutes. And then I'll report back to you once everything's installed and, we got everything ready to go. I also am installing a new Grimspeed gasket from the downpipe to the catback. Those are the super thick ones. So it should be nice and sealed up really well. I also have some nice titanium hardware that I'm going to install with it as well. So I'll show you that before I put it on. But let's go ahead, get the car jacked up, and let's get going on this because I really, really am anticipating and wanting to hear what this touring sounds like. So let's get started. All right, so we got the Cobb exhaust off. That took 8 minutes. So, man, this thing is absolutely beautiful. I've had this on for about 3 weeks now. It's only got about, I don't know, 200 miles on it. But as you can kind of see, the actual piping, not the welds, it's actually turning a nice, cool golden hue. Eventually, things as they heat up more and more, get more heat cycles, it'll start turning that cool purple that all the welds are that I did myself. You can kind of see it here, the gold hue. Looks really, really cool. Man, this is so nice. I mean, right next to the AWE, they both look beautiful, but obviously titanium is just on another level of cool. Let me go ahead and get these bushings off, and then we're gonna go ahead and throw the AWE on, and we'll see how the fitment is and everything, and we'll go from there. So again, that only took 8 minutes, so super quick. Thankfully, titanium is very light, so it's very easy to move around and, you know, do it by yourself. This one's a little bit heavier, obviously, because it's made of stainless, but let's go ahead, get it done, and see how it sounds. All right, before we get under the car, I just wanted to show you the titanium hardware that I'm using. This is from Titanium Works, just like everything in my engine bay. Super nice stuff as usual. Comes with nice nuts and washers and everything. So we're good to go. And I'm also using the Grimspeed gasket, as I mentioned. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna start in the mid pipe, connecting to the actual downpipe, and then kind of work my way back. A good tip is to keep everything loose before you perfect the fitment, because if you start tightening everything down as you go along, best thing to do is leave everything loose, get the entire exhaust on, and then kind of work your way back, and kind of get the tips and everything aligned the way you want it. The nice part about the tips over there is that they're removable, just like the Cobb. So you can kind of position the tips where you want it, and sitting just where you need it. Another quick note that I always do, if there's ever a side that is hanging lower than the other, your best friend is hose clamps. What you actually do is just wrap it around the bushing and then tighten it up. What that actually does is actually closes the bushing and it pulls the exhaust up. I've been using that for years. It does the trick beautifully. I did it with the Cobb actually. The driver's side was hanging a little bit lower, so I just threw one of those on and it pulled it up really nicely. Did the same thing with the Delta Motor Works, and we'll see how the AWE looks on either side, and I might use that one to, you know, perfect the fitment a little bit. But that is a little tip. I figured I would mention it because a lot of people always have issues with any exhaust with one hanging lower than the others. All right, so let's go ahead and get started on the AWE and get this on the car. So the install is done. Kind of hard to see, but yeah, you can't even see it at all, but it is on. I didn't put the tips on yet. So I just want to do a cold start and then check for leaks and everything, and then I'll go ahead and put the tips on. But yeah, let's start it up and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, so I haven't reviewed the footage at all yet, but oh my goodness, I am so freaking happy with that sound. It is absolutely perfect. Now, the Cobb over there sounded fantastic. It's just a little bit on the quieter side, as I explained, but honestly, the AWE Touring is absolutely freaking perfect. And I'm really lucky that I was able to find such a perfect sound so quickly, only after trying, I guess, 3 exhausts, because my first one I had on the car for, 4 years, whatever. But honestly, so thrilled with everything. The fitment of the entire exhaust is perfect. There is 0 leaks anywhere in the entire system. With the Cobb, I actually had a little bit of a leak connected to the downpipe. But a really cool thing that AWE includes is an OEM donut gasket, which you use on the stock downpipe. But since I'm running the Grimspeed catted downpipe, you don't need a donut gasket. But since there is that little gap, I end up using the donut gasket supplied with AWE, as well as the Grimspeed double or 3 times thick, whatever gasket they sell. And no leaks at all there. Everything else along the whole system, I checked around, as you guys saw, no leaks at all. But as soon as I started the car, and I just immediately noticed the increased volume, just overall on the cold start, it's quieter than the first exhaust I had, which was the Delta Motorworks, which was, no mufflers, no resonators, anything. That was just ungodly loud. Sounded cool, but it was just too much. And then I went to the Cobb Titanium, which was a lot quieter. As you guys probably know, on the cold start of that one, when I installed it, it was on the quieter side, which I was totally fine with. It does have a very, very distinct, cool sound, but honestly, the AWE Touring, as soon as I got on the car, it just, it made me start laughing. Mainly because when you want it to be quiet, it's quiet, but when you get on it, it's loud. It's impressively loud. I was not expecting it to actually be that loud. It almost is pretty close to how loud the Delta Motorworks setup was. Not as loud when you're getting on it, but it's very, very close. I don't know how they did that with, all those giant mufflers in the back, but honestly, it's just absolutely perfect. As you guys heard in a few sound clips, it just sounds so aggressive, so mean. I'm very, very thrilled. And now keep in mind, it's going to get a little bit deeper as it breaks in. The initial start is always a little bit higher pitched, I always found, with any exhaust that you install. So it takes some time to kind of break in. It gets a little deeper. The Cobb actually got a little deeper as well over time. So I'm looking forward to hearing how it sounds once it breaks in a little bit more. But honestly, super, super thrilled with it. I cannot recommend it enough with equal length headers. I know this is literally just my first day with it, or literally my first drive with it. But I'm just one of those people. I've been through so many exhaust setups in multiple cars. In my M3, I went through 9 different setups. Something about me, I just know myself very, very well, that as soon as I hear an exhaust, the first initial start, if I like it right away and it makes me smile, I'm going to like it immediately. And that is the exact feeling I got with the AWE Touring. I'm really, really pleased I went with the gloss black tips. Now the fitment on this is very, very nice. It is very, very close. It is actually touching the plastic there. but mine is already a little bit melted from previous exhaust from the Delta Motorworks, so I'm not too concerned about it. Plus the tips are removable, so if they get messed up over the years, I can just get new ones. But as you can see, I kind of staggered it a little bit how I did with the Cobb, but it is sitting in much more. It is not sticking out as much as I had the Cobb. Obviously I could have put, you know, the Cobbs in a little bit more, but I really wanted to show the titanium on that exhaust. But again, really happy I went with the gloss black. The chrome or the silver finish would have been really nice, but I think the black just fits my car really well. Obviously it's nighttime right now, so it's kind of hard to, you know, really show what they look like. Obviously I'll show you some better clips when I'm actually doing the Cobb and AWE Touring comparison video. You know, I'll be doing that in the daytime, so you can be able to see a little bit more clearly of the exhaust tips and everything. But it is absolutely beautiful. Very pleased with the whole entire experience in the exhaust system. I'm also very grateful that I was able to do this so quickly. A lot of people were laughing about how quickly I was changing exhaust and how I was doing it and everything. But you guys put me in a position to be able to do this by watching my videos and everything. So I really appreciate it. Honestly, I wouldn't be able to do these videos, these exhaust videos, or any video in general if it wasn't for your support. So I wanted to extend my thank you once again for all the support, watching the videos, and just creating the community that we are creating. So that is it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed the install. I hope you enjoyed the quick little exhaust clips. There's going to be a more in-depth video, as I mentioned, comparing the Cobb, you know, doing a back-to-back video, doing in-cabin driving, specific revs and everything, so you guys can get an idea exactly how it sounds between the two. This one was just my initial impression with the install and just kind of some quick clips so you guys can get an idea, because I would hate to put a video up of an exhaust installing it and not put clips on there. You guys would kill me. So I wanted to get a few things in there. Now, as for what is coming for the STI, this week is actually pretty darn busy for me for the car. There's actually a few things over here that I still need to install. These are the shift bushings. I also have the RK titanium radiator pipe as well. And I'm also headed up to RT Tuning to get a Koyo aluminum radiator installed, as well as the Killer Bee oil pan kit, which includes the oil pan, the oil pickup tube, as well as the baffle. I'm actually also converting over to Motul 5W40. I've been using 5W30 forever, but since I'm running a little bit more power in the car, I wanted a little bit higher weight oil in the car, so I'm going over to 5W40. So we're going to get that done this week. I will have a video on that as well. Again, they're installing it, so there's not going to be an install video, but I will explain everything as I normally do in regards to pricing and just everything that was done, you know, just in detail like what I normally do with my videos. So plenty more to come. There's still plenty more stuff to do to this car. I'm absolutely loving it, especially now with the AWE Touring. It sounds absolutely freaking awesome. Love it. Can't wait to do more driving with it. And yeah, guys, so if you have any questions at all about the AWE Touring or anything else on the car, I'd be more than happy to answer. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you in the next one.